We've just arrived at Inskip Point, Fraser Island. Aired down the tyres, about to catch the ferry over. Going straight down to 15 psi and get all your stuff at Inskip Point, so we got fuel there. And then we stopped at the Manta Ray barge office on the way into town. There's 3 things you need, which we got at the office: ferry tickets, your vehicle pass, and then your camping permits for your nights. So we're about to drive out now, drive out the point and jump on the ferry. For our 1-week Fraser Island trip, it was just myself and KAYLA in the one 4-wheel drive. At Inskip Point, you've got a short drive over the sand to board the ferry. The sand can get quite soft and rutted out, and a lot of people get stuck here, so make sure you let your tyres right down. It's only a short ferry ride, about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you arrive at the southern tip of Fraser Island. You can't get up the west coast of the island from the bottom, meaning you need to start making your way towards the east coast of the island. To get to the east coast, you've got the inland track, which is recommended at high tide, or you can make your way along the edge of the beach. The inland tracks are commonly rough and slow, so we decided to start making our way along the beach. It was right on high tide at the time, but we figured if we couldn't get through, we could just wait for the tide to drop a bit. The beach ended up being a pretty tight squeeze at times, but all good, no dramas. It's much nicer driving up the beach at sunset than through the inland track. All over Fraser Island, you've got lots of these little creeks that flow out to the ocean from the island. They're all generally fresh water, except for maybe at high tide when the waves have pushed up into them. It's a fairly long drive up the east coast of the island before you reach the first set of campsites, meaning we didn't get there till just after dark. As we were setting up camp, we spotted our first dingo for the trip who came wandering past. Day 2 on Fraser Island. The weather's so nice here today. Last night we camped at the Govey camping zone, I think it's called, just above Dilly Village. So when we got off the ferry it was high tide, so we kind of just snuck up as far as we could to the first camping zone on high tide. It was very close at times, so we sort of only just got through. We drive back down to the Dilly Village and head in there. They're going to do an inland track that takes you past a few different lakes today. We're going to check all them out. Lake Boomanjin, Lake Birrabeen, and then through to Lake Mckenzie. This is Lake Boomanjin out behind me here. It's a freshwater lake, it's huge. It's really nice. It's got that tea tree colour to it. Still be good for a swim. But we're going to wait till we get further up and have a swim at Lake Mckenzie. But this is the first time I've been to this lake. Second time on Fraser Island, but we didn't come to this lake last time. No one around, haven't seen anyone today since we left the beach this morning. No one at the lake, or I haven't seen anyone on these inland tracks.
Covering 200 hectares, Lake Boomanjin is the largest perch lake in the world. Definitely worth the drive to see. Have a look around. After leaving Lake Boomanjin, we started heading towards the next stop of the day, Lake Birrabeen.
This is Lake Birrabeen out behind me here. It's really nice here. It's not quite as nice as Lake Mckenzie. Still got that little bit of tea tree colour in the water. Got that super white sand. Water looks good, but I'm gonna have a swim. And you don't have as many crowds here like you do at Lake Mckenzie. It's hardly it. There's a couple of people over the other side there, but we're the only ones at this spot.
These inland lakes will be one of the highlights of Fraser Island for me. It's got super white sand, crystal clear water. It's really like being on a tropical island.
Print shot.
Are you doing a print shot?
Lake Birrabeen would have been our favourite lake of the island. I'd say it's pretty much just as nice as Lake Mckenzie. There's hardly anyone around. After a swim and a relax at Lake Birrabeen, we started making our way towards Central Station for some lunch and have a bit of an explore of the area. Central Station is a great place to stop, have a look around and check out some of the history of Fraser Island. It's a large clearing in the middle of the forest and was the headquarters for Fraser Island's forestry operations from the 1920s until the late 1950s. The area was once home to about 30 houses and a school was also built there. Just behind Central Station is a beautiful crystal clear creek that you can have a walk along and explore. After having some lunch, checking out Central Station, we started making our way towards Lake Mckenzie, which is not too far away. Lake Mckenzie is absolutely beautiful and without a doubt the most popular lake on the island. I mean, you do get quite a few people there and all the tourist spots generally stop by at Lake Mckenzie, so you get those big crowds of people. But still 100% worth a visit. There's pretty big shoreline, so you normally find a spot to yourself somewhere along the edge. Lake Mckenzie is a unique lake, has very low pH levels in the water, meaning very little animal life can exist and it's free from all weeds.
Just the water's so clear and blue. It's fresh water. All these lakes inland are fresh water. I say assume the water's pretty nice. It's a little cool, but not too bad. So it's about 20-ish degrees. There's quite a few people back up there. It's about 3 in the hour. It's starting to cool down a little bit. It's getting a bit shady on this side. We just stopped at the Central Station campground on the way back from Lake Mckenzie. We stopped here. They got hot showers. KAYLA's going to have a shower. For $2 coin you get 3 minutes of hot water. This is one of the enclosed campgrounds. So on Fraser Island you have your open campgrounds, and then you have your enclosed ones which they've put fences around so the dingoes can't get in. They recommend the enclosed campgrounds if you have children. We're not going to camp here, but we're going to keep going out to the eastern beach. It's alright here, but I don't really think it's anything special. It's just kind of in the middle of the bush. I'd rather be out on the beach where it's a bit nicer.
Generally, all the inland tracks on Fraser Island are pretty easy. You're not going to come to too many problems. I'm normally just cruising along in about first or second gear high range. The biggest thing with them is that they do get very rough, and so they take a long time to drive. Often you're looking at a max speed of about 20 kilometres an hour. We arrived on the eastern beach just as the sun was going down and went to find a camp to set up for the night.
Another great sunrise this morning. I just woke up a little bit late, but I woke up sort of as the sun was already coming up. We camped on another eastern beach campsite last night. A little bit windy on the eastern side at the moment, but not too bad. When you head over the western side, that's when it gets real calm. Today I think we're going to go back and check out Lake Wabby, because I never saw it yesterday. And then we're going to head up to Eli Creek and the Maheno Shipwreck.
After packing up camp, we headed back down onto the beach to start making our way up towards the beginning of the walk for Lake Wabby.
The two camps just up there were closed when we tried to camp in them last night. They're saying there's too much dingo activity in this area. This one's still open. We had one dingo come into our camp last night, but he was probably about 10 metres away and then he just walked off. Diesel's $2.10 a litre here, just at the Yurong shop. I think it's about $1.60 on the mainland at the moment, meaning it's about 50 cents dearer a litre, so definitely paying a bit more out here. We're doing the Lake Wabby walk now from the beach end, 4.8 k's return. You can park on the beach and walk up to it. Last time it was closed due to too much dingo activity in the area, so I'm pretty excited to see it this time. Did you bring your swimmers? No. There's Lake Wabby down there now. You have to walk across this huge sand dune to get to it. There's like a shorter walk from an inland track up there. It's No one here, we got the whole place to ourselves. There's like big fish in this. Yeah, I think you can see a big catfish or something down there.
Yeah, they will be gone.
Shut up.
Unlike the other lakes on Fraser Island, Lake Wabby is home to several different species of fish. Over time, Lake Wabby has been slowly disappearing from this giant sand dune that's next to it that's been engulfing the lake. And in the future, they think that the lake will be completely gone.
It smells like catfish.
Was it really cold?
No. Maybe like a little bit colder than the other lakes, but not maybe like 1 degree. But it's actually like really fishy.
You're selling it.
You smell like fish.
Oh, cool. I'll jump right in. Oh, now I smell it.
Can you really?
It wasn't the best weather today, but we're still keen to check out all the sights. After Lake Wabby, we headed towards Eli Creek. 2 years ago we came to Fraser Island, same time of year, and we never saw a single dingo in the week we were there. This time we would have seen 40 to 50 dingoes, they were just everywhere.
It's not too cold, like it's not as cold as what Lake Wabby was. I'm going to walk down the creek. So, tell everyone where we are.
Eli Creek.
And give us some information.
It's a freshwater creek, and
There's about maybe 100 metres of it that you can walk down and swim down. Back further is closed off. The water's pretty warm for winter. It's only about knee to waist depth the whole way down. From here, the creek just flows straight out into the ocean. You drive across it when you come up the beach.
The last stop on the east coast of Fraser, before we started heading over to the west, was the Maheno Shipwreck. The Maheno Shipwreck would be the most famous wreck on Fraser Island. It's been there since 1935, when it was driven ashore by a cyclone.